Yes. Yes. We had a moment of silence, guys. You're watching the Vero G Spotlight radio show right now. Today we'll be on DTF, but we're going to make the best of it. We're still with DTF, so we're on YouTube and Amazon Fire TV right now, live. We will have DJ Chef in a few minutes. But again, guys, this episode is an honor for George Floyd, who passed away, who was murdered by an officer. We will discuss this within 2 hours, guys. We're going to talk more about this with my co-host and DJ Chef, and we have special guests for this episode as well. Again, guys, all lives matter. We also, like I said, Black Lives Matter, but also all lives matter. We have to fight. We have to fight for our next generation to not go through this shit. Us as minorities, I have a son, and I have to fight for him, and I want to be his voice. And all the mothers out there watching, knowing that your child, God forbid, could be the next target. We have to fight. That's why I understand why they did the looting, which was unnecessary, but there was a reason to show them we're tired of the shit. So I'm going to get DJ Chef right now. We'll talk more about this, guys. It's very deep, emotional episode. So please, guys could comment, talk, all that. We also are going to get some feedback on people who want to talk real quickly within less than 3 minutes about the feedback on this situation I have. So let me get Chef right now. Hey, Chef, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, Chef. Go ahead.
Yes, again, George Floyd, it's heartbreaking to see a black man die. But like you said, all lives matter. We have to protect our young ones. They are the future. And, we have to protect ourselves as well. And like I said, the last couple of days has been real educational, and it has been historic, and it's been heartbreaking to see, the people come together at a time like this when, people's lives has been tested, and this has been going on for a very long time, and what kills me is, the cops and the white minorities try to look the other way,
Too long.
And I'm gonna change that, because some white people they stick out for us as well. So I wouldn't say all of them.
That's right.
It is emotional right now,
That's right. We're gonna talk more about this, Chef. I want more of your feedback on your input. And we have a special guest actually at 6:10. He's an amazing friend of mine, auxiliary cop. Freak me out, I said it wrong. Oh, he'll come back on. And his name is CJ, and we want to also ask for his input on this. And we have an amazing guest for you as well. Her name is Shana Gourdine. She's an amazing poet and author, so she'll be on the show with us as well soon. So stay put. All right, Chef, we'll talk more about this in a few minutes to start the show. Go ahead, guys. You're watching the Vero G Spotlight Radio Show. Host Vero G, and DJ Chef. The co-host is the other co-host is taking a break. The llama. So go ahead, Chef.
DJ Chef.
You are listening now to the Vero G Spotlight Radio Show with your girl, Vero G, on DTF Radio, live Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m.
The loudmouth in the motherfucking building. BK, stand up. The champ is here. Holla, him.
It's your time to shine. Download the app on Google Play and Apple App Store. Vero G Spotlight Radio Show, presented by WhosNextNYCRadio.com.
Sounded so big, I know that you're scared. The trust is okay, I know you've been there. I know what they been, cause you fighting hard about it. Like you on that back of a ball. Still want your dream, still want your soul. You trying to relax, you don't have to.
All right.
Yes, yes. So, Chef, like I said, we've been seeing the news recently. The topic segment alone itself, which you mentioned before, we're going to focus heavily on this topic about the murder of George Floyd, and I want everybody's input on this. Briefly, I want more of your input as well. Let them know how it affected you and your family, and as well, I know you have a child. Let's talk a little more about that. How do you feel about that, the situation?
You want to do that now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, it affected me as far as me being a young black man, you know, in this world trying to survive.
Yeah.
And, it makes me look at the young minority of young black, Hispanic, Latinos, all of us, and
That's right.
as far as it affecting me, it just makes me look back at all the other black people, the black people, and how they lost their lives, like Eric Gardner, what's his name? Trayvon, what's the kid name?
Trayvon Martin, I believe.
Yeah, Trayvon Martin.
Oh my God.
Alba Diallo being abused by cops.
Sean Bell, that was another.
Yeah, Sean Bell. It's just a line, that just keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be keep going through this.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very true.
I think about Martin. When this happened, I actually thought about what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X said, and then it made me think about the movie by Spike Lee. It's called Do the Right Thing.
Great movie.
All these things came into my head when I saw this young black man having him scream for his life, telling the cop, "Please, I can't breathe." All those images came in my head. All of them came in my head. And all I can say is, we need to stop the violence, man. It has to stop. It has to end somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
So as far as my kid, he knows about it. He asked me. He said, "Daddy, why did they, kill, the man like that?" And he suffers from autism, but he understands and he sees. Yeah, just because he suffers from autism doesn't mean he doesn't understand and see what's going on. So I had to explain to him, like, son, this has been going on for years, and it's not okay to see a black person like that, a majority, screaming and begging for their lives.
Exactly. So true, Chef. So true. And we've seen so many instances where people, like you said, they are an unfortunate, tragic situation where a lot of these cops, they go in and they do these things, not realizing the consequences, the victims, the families that suffer. They're in their hands. This is what hurts me the most. And I see this, and it happens day to day. That you mentioned, Chef. There's some stories that are not told by the media. The media also press.
Oh, they hide it. They try to hide it.
Of course.
They definitely hide a lot of stuff.
Of course,
definitely do that.
Definitely, and real quickly, because we have a guest on right now, a special guest on here in a few minutes. I'm going to put him on. But, like I said, the media plays a huge role on this, because they press the negativity of a situation, instead of saying, let's show them the greatness of something to come. We're just showing you guys some images of things that are positive in the media that should be showing more than ever. There's cops that are on our side to end the violence for all minorities, not only for African Americans, for all minorities, guys. And we definitely need a time to unite. We need the time to unite. Forgive me, my tongue's a twisted right now. And just show that there is people that give a shit about you, that care.
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
That's right. Exactly what he said. Talking about that, we're gonna have our lovely guest here in a few minutes. Let me just, how do you get that up? All right. So, like I said again, we definitely need more of this. Oh, okay. We definitely need more of this to happen. Okay. So we have our guest right now. I'm gonna introduce him. Let me get him on the show right now, Chef. Stay right there.
He just left.
Oh no, he's right there. Yeah. All right, we got CJ. Yes.
What's up, everybody? How you
How you doing, man?
I'm trying to come in late, man. I was trying to figure out how to get this whole thing set up. I apologize.
No, you're good. You got it. That's the main thing.
I don't like to be late. You know me. We learn from T-Dog.
I feel you, man. I feel you. But let me give you guys first introduction to this amazing friend of mine. I know for over 4 or 5 years, more than that, actually, I think, right?
More than that. More than 10 years. More 10 years or more.
Oh my God. You make me feel old. Thank you.
I feel old every day. Look at this. The hair.
Oh, stop it. Listen, my grace is sticking out somewhere. So
yeah.
He's amazing. Listen, like I said, he's an amazing friend of mine. I know for a long time. Since Moreau, we're both Moreau College alumni, and he is also he is a part of the I hope I said our auxiliary. Please, he works with I don't know which precinct, but I know the Bronx.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I wanted you to be on the show today. He will be also, Chef. He will be also on a future show with us. He has an amazing story to be told, and I definitely want to be on the show and talk more about that in the future. So we can have. But furthermore, like I said, DJ Chef, he is my co-host and DJ. Just want to put him in there.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, DJ? So let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
So I did auxiliary for about 9 years, but I transitioned from auxiliary to the New York City peace officer, New York City Department of Homeland Services. So I have about 19 years of experience. I started when I was 18 as a volunteer officer, worked in numerous operations. I worked in an operation, underage operation, because I was 18 years old. I was the youngest auxiliary in my command in the 5-0 at the time, the 50th precinct. I was the first rookie officer to get an award from the Bronx Borough President for Community Service Awards. So, yeah. So, and then also got, like I said, what Vero said about Monroe. I also have my bachelor's degree from Monroe College.
Yeah.
So, let me just decline that. So, I consider myself with my whole experience, 19 years in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I gotta say something to you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm coming here from the heart. I don't have a perfect record. No officer has a perfect record. I made 2 mistakes in my career, but at the day, like what Vero said, you have officers out there that were willing to go beyond the call of duty to sacrifice themselves for the protection of the community. I work in the Department of Homeland Services. A lot of my officers that I work with, we do not get credit. Let me tell you something. We were the first department in New York State to get the naloxone camp.
Wow.
For the naloxone. Right? We were the first ones. They experimented with us. We saved over 1,000 or more lives from overdose. From opioid overdose.
Yeah.
Our department. So there are officers out there that go beyond the call of duty. But because you have certain officers, like for example, what happened, I don't like to mention the name, these 4 group of men decided to do what they did. All right? You had one that went to the extreme, right? And another 3 refused to help out. In my department, or in any department in New York City, NYPD, New York State, if we see our fellow officer doing something stupid like that, we stop it. We look out for each other. We say, hey, yo, that's overdoing it. What that was overkill. And this whole instance of training new officers and all this other stuff, it happens on a daily basis. Every time something comes out where an officer does something unjust to a prisoner, a new memo comes out, a new training comes out. The NYPD and the New York State peace officers, they have it where anytime something happens, they look over our training protocol. This is that and third. Listen, we need to take this out. This has to go. What he did was not a part of the training of law enforcement. That was not part of the law enforcement training. That was supposed to send him. He did that to try to send a message to him. Hey, if you mess around with me, I'm gonna do something to you. In handcuffs. Once the cuffs are once the cuffs are on, it's over. It's over.
Wow.
You supposed to. The prisoner is when you have a prisoner. When I take custody of somebody, whether it be a female, male, transgender, you're my responsibility. For however how many hours you're in my custody, you're my responsibility. I have to feed you. If you refuse to eat, I put in my book you refuse to eat. You're my responsibility. I have to make sure that we go from point A to point B. So we go from the precinct. If I got to take you to the hospital, you're in my custody in the hospital to get you site clear, medical clear, blase, and then from the hospital we go to the bookings, which is Manhattan bookings, or sometimes all these rioters are being taken to One Police Plaza because One Police Plaza has a bookings that can handle this capacity, right? So once you get to the bookings and I release you into corrections custody, it goes in my book. So now your corrections problem no longer mine. So in case it comes towards me, I release you to the corrections custody. But the NYPD, peace officers, special officers, security guards, we have changed so much of the protocol. When we saw what happened in Staten Island, we reviewed the protocol. It was an old takedown that was used, but it was used incorrectly. I am a martial artist. I haven't said it either. I've studied for many years. It's called put away the sword. And it was used incorrectly. Because one thing and another is that the size and weight and all this, if you add a martial art move to law enforcement, you have to know what you're doing. You can't give, that's what people understand. I tell people all the time, and I know in martial arts, I had an aha moment. When I was training myself, I said, wait a minute, everything that we got in law enforcement comes from martial arts. The PR-24 comes from the Thunderfuss. The baton comes from Filipino calisthenics. Everything comes from martial arts. So when you're training people that are not trained in the martial arts, you got to train them the proper way. And the NYPD has zero tolerance on chokeholds. When they had the Anthony Bayer situation that happened back in the 90s, he was a male Hispanic that was playing football with his friends. The football hit the patrol car. He got choked up because he put in a chokehold, and he died because of his asthma. Wow. So they banned the chokehold. But sometimes you have officers that use martial art moves. They see YouTube, they see certain things that goes on, and at the end of the day, they try to add that into it. And you can't. I told my old coworkers all the time, you can, when you see things in TV, you need somebody to train you the basics and how to get into it.
Yeah. They
always ask me, Vero, how you lock somebody so quick? It's called reverse armbar. If you know how to do reverse armbar, you handcuff and boom. But when it comes against NYPD, everything gets changed. Trust me, what's going on right now, as we speak, I know the NYPD, the peace officers, special officers, those in charge of the training, which is the New York State, I forgot what it's called. It's the New York State, it comes from Albany. They're the ones that come up with the curriculum to train all officers, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the United States government, people don't understand this, the United States government tells the governors, the chiefs, everybody how they want the officers to be trained. But they don't give a set blueprint on how to do it. It's like giving a kid how to put a $2,000 block Lego set without an instruction manual. So you have to go based on past cases, past Supreme Court cases. Miranda versus, Miranda warnings was from a past case. So you got to use past cases to base your training on. So we always not proactive, we always reactive because of certain things that goes on in law enforcement, and that's across the board.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, like I said, you And I like that Chris Rock joke where Chris Rock he said something about bad apples. Listen, we're not talking about bad apples. We're not talking about none of that. We're talking about there's a group of officers, no matter how much you train them, no matter how much, you can never change their moral values. You can never change the upbringing of a person. If someone has hatred in their heart, you can't change them. And it's sad. No matter what, when you take that test, that psychological, that physical, whatever, you're gonna do what you want to do to get that job. If you, and this applies across the board, you want that McDonald's job, they would tell you exactly how to apply for that McDonald's job. How to apply. You would apply for McDonald's, you're gonna say, I want to work whatever hours, whatever time, whatever needs to be done, snow, winter, snow, sleep, whatever it is to get the job. And then we look at the history of his officer. Now, let's go to the history of his officer. 19 years on the job, right?
Yeah.
Has past history. You look at veteran, we call veterans, right? You sometimes brush off the person's past history because he's a veteran. He's a veteran. He has another year on. He about to retire. Blase, blase, blase. So they give the pass to the veteran, but then you get a rookie or someone got 2 years on the job. He may get more of a lashing. He may get 15 days on the street. He may get 30 days on the street. A veteran, they might look out for him. He's good to the community. Oh, well, he gave us last month, let's say 25 arrests, and he took off the drugs off the streets. We can't put his officer off. No, we put him off for 7 days and have him on death duty. But in the NYPD, how it works, and people don't understand this, the NYPD does it where they take a gun and badge. Where are you working at? You're not working behind the desk. You're working in central bookings. Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, whatever it is. You're working there until your investigation is done. Even when your investigation is done, they will still give you a badge back, but not give you a gun, but you still be working for the city. That's how it works. Yeah. Little cliff notes there. That's the truth. Okay. So, yeah, that's how it works. For NYPD, it's the hardest thing to get an officer fired in the NYPD. It's easier to do it out of state. In New York State, it's so much bureaucratic BS.
Red tape.
Because you got not only the union, you got the union, then you got to go to their department. You got to go through chains. That's what you're looking at right now. What's going on with the officer in Staten Island? Yes, he was brought on charges. Yes, he was removed from the NYPD. But somewhere along the line, I'm guaranteeing you his character is still collecting a check because now his firing is being reviewed by the state board.
That's right.
Of independence, labor board, whatever it is. So when you come into this nonsense where people saying, when you see people say F the police, okay, you say F the police, but look what goes on.
Yep.
Who's there to stop the rioters and all these people from breaking into your home? It's the same person that patrols your neighborhood. I like what the chief of the department NYPD did the other day, where he sat there and said, listen, don't let the group of people make you think differently of the NYPD. And a lot of departments are doing that. Michigan, Florida, some parts of California are doing it as well. Because we have to, as now is, when a group of officers, former officers, or group of people do something negative to the public, it sends a black eye. It puts us behind. So when it comes to training, I go over the training A to Z. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what you got to do to get the job. And it's sad that what happened in Minnesota, it should not happen what happened in Minnesota. It shouldn't, because we should learn from the Anthony Byers, the Amber Lemas, the Anthony Garner. We should learn, but other departments are not adding that on to it. We do the changes. We do the changes. NYPD do the changes. And the outside don't do the changes.
Interesting.
NYPD, New York State troopers, we do the changes. Outside forces don't do the changes. They may do the changes, but they don't force the changes.
Interesting. Well, I got two questions to ask you, CJ, because you've been experiencing that kind of field for a long time. And first question I want to ask.
Sad, it's sad what goes on. We in a society where we just gotta pray, and pray for change. And we have to vote. We have to put the vote in. When you have a president that's in office that's preaching hatred towards a specific group, a specific religion, you know, we have to vote. This is what happens when you vote something, when you vote.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted Hillary to win, but what happened? She won the popular vote, but didn't win the electoral vote.
That's true.
So we have to vote. If we want the change, we have to vote. Whoever's the Democratic nominee, we got to vote.
I agree with
Biden
you, man.
is in, we got to go for Biden. We have to go out there and support Biden. We can't have this for another 4 years. We can't have it for another 4 years.
Oh, hell no. That's what
I agree. I agree with you, bro. We definitely got to vote because if we don't.
Questions? Anybody? I'm always
I'm
fine. If you have any questions, ask me. I'm open.
Hold on, let's Chef go ahead, and I'll go after Chef. Go ahead, Chef. Go ahead.
Well, I can't hear you.
All right, no, Chef's gonna ask. Go ahead, Chef, and after Chef, I go and I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Hold on.
No, I was saying that I agree that we have to vote. We have to vote because
I lost. I can't hear you. Let me see something.
Uh-oh. Hold on, Chef. Hold on. We got a lot of people commenting tonight. Oh my, it's getting crazy tonight.
What happened?
You hear us?
I said you're right, brother, that we have to vote because if we do not vote, our voices will not be answered.
Yeah,
we have to, and we definitely got to vote this president out of office. He has to get out of there.
And that's the, and I know you guys can hear me because I got my headphones on, but that's the key. Like I tell people, if you want to learn about history, there's a book out there called Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States of America. It's called A People's History of the United States. It's a People's History of the United States, Howard Zinn. And in the book, it talks about the slavery. It talks about the history of what goes on. You know what I'm saying? We have to vote. We have to have a say in. You know, if we want changes, we have to vote. You know, we can't do it. We can't. You know, yeah, and also respect. Like I said today, and it's. I don't know how much to say this, but I always say this all the time. A lot of officers that do great don't get recognized. I try as a male Hispanic and as a union representative, I try to get my guys recognized for their hard work. A lot of my guys, we have ran into burning buildings. We have run into burning dorms. We have literally saved lives with the naloxone. We are basically the police force inside the shelters. As an auxiliary officer, a lot of us that are not talked about, we volunteer our services to a community. When I left the New York City Auxiliary Police Department in 2009, and I continue on with where I'm at now because my peace officer status carried on.
Yeah.
So I left with over 3,000 hours of community service. And a lot of the auxiliaries don't get recognized for this. When 9/11 happened, all the cops were running to the World Trade Center. The New York City Auxiliary Police Department was the backbone for the NYPD to patrol. So if you saw a cop on 9/11 patrolling the streets, it wasn't no NYPD. That was auxiliary. You know, our uniforms look the same. You know, so give credit to those that's going out there and doing the hard work. And what upsets me is that every time something negative goes involving law enforcement, it sets us back because you had a bunch of certified idiots, like I call it, that allowed this to happen. You had 4 men that allowed this to happen.
That's right.
You had one that was sitting there watching this go on, while these 2 other men, 3 was on him.
That's right.
Think about that.
That's right.
And did not even stop and think to say the one that was just standing there watching it did not stand there to watch it, to stop it. He was just sitting there watching it. And then let's look at this. Look at the video. And when the situation happened to Anthony Gordon in Staten Island, right?
Yeah.
The family went after not only the NYPD, but the EMS.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right. the both FDY techs, medical technicians, what you want to call them, EMTs or EMS, one of those two, got fired. Why is it the family not going after the EMS? Because once they put him on the gurney, they never read the maid. And then you could tell that the officer was cold-hearted because he didn't even go into the bus to check on the perp on Lloyd. Never did. Got back in his RMP and continued on his duties. I commend the chief of that department for going out there the other night on CNN and said, I fired them because of it was not moral. What they did wasn't moral, it was inhumane. I commend the chief. I had never seen a chief of a department come out and say his man did something wrong and take ownership to it.
That's right.
So, and that's what I commend. And that's why I said to the family as well, go after the EMS as well, because what they didn't do. And then go after the medical examiner, because how was one medical examiner saying one thing and you had to go all the way down to Timbuktu, New York, to get a proper examiner's report that only probably took 2 hours to figure it out. So it's like, you know, we want reform in law enforcement. People think that NYPD or certain law enforcement want to go after black communities or Hispanic communities. It's not that. It's that that's the community that we serve.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand that that's the community that we serve. So if we could conserve a community that's only Hispanics and African Americans, then what's going on? You know, you see patrol cars in Riverdale, you see patrol cars in Suffolk County, Nassau County, but they go after the hard hit areas where it goes back to the broken windows theory, where the crime is always at. And that's where you see the crime goes a lot. Look at the crime statistics. When you see crime statistics, it happens in what? In low income areas. Right. We need to also fix that. We need to fix the minimum wage. We did it in New York. Why can't nobody else do it? Mm-hmm. Why is it New York is the only one? Why is it that the federal law does not put out there a higher wage? The wage should go up. It should not be $7.25. Why has it be up to each state to put the minimum wage at a certain level? There's a disparity when it comes to salary, education, and everything else. You know?
Definitely. Well, I have some quick questions for you, CJ. First of all, I want to commend you, because to be a volunteer cop after the years you put in, and if you don't get the credit, we're giving you the credit now. So let's give it up for CJ for this amazing years of service and what he's doing. Now, you're welcome. Now, my question first one is, like you just mentioned, as being a minority and seeing what's going on, particularly, I don't know, there's a lot of cases that you mentioned before prior to George Floyd's situation. But my question to you, as being a minority and being in the task force, as they call it, and seeing the inside of what we don't see, what can you just give us one particular experience in what you kind of experienced in your eyes, and how about can we make that change as minorities? So even though, as they call it, the white race, so they could see that we're kind of tired of the bullshit. I want you to
Yeah. So what is that? You know, I have seen it. Sometimes I have seen it, but it's not a lot of times that goes on. Yeah. And it's not going on with whites. It's our own people. It's their own minorities, their own Hispanics that sometimes is doing it to their own people. And you know, sometimes, you know, it's sad to see it. You have to pull your fellow person off of that, and sometimes you got to step back. And it takes wisdom and years to learn the craft. You know, you have certain rookie officers that want to go gun ho, that want to go after certain things, and you got to sometimes take it back. You know.
Exactly. Okay.
It's yeah.
All right. My another question to you is, now I know, if I'm not mistaken, CJ, is it true a lot of these cops don't they get is it like once a week or so, or do they, as part of the contract, that they have to oblige where they have to go see a psychiatrist during because of what they work, what they see, and what they go through. Is that part of the contract as being seen like a therapist or someone to kind of talk to what things they see and stuff like that?
No, it's not a part of the contract. What's going on is that most officers, when they go through stresses in life, they are scared to go see an outside source because they're scared of losing their gun and badge. And what I commend New York City for doing is when we started seeing a high rate of suicides with officers,
Yes.
Columbian Presbyterian Hospital in New York City is the only hospital that opened their doors to where if you are going through a psychological disorder or you're going through stresses of work, you're allowed to come in and you can speak with someone privately, and they're not going to take your name down. They're not going to take nothing down. You can walk right in and say, I need help. And it's not in the contract. What they have is when you first get the job, they give you what's called a psychological. And the psychological could be it could be whether it be between 500 to 1,000 questions on the psychological. And then you see a psychiatrist after the psychological is completed. And that's the last time you ever get questioned on your psychiatry history, unless you get involved with, you say, a shooting or something else. But in my department, we don't carry firearms. We just carry acid, baton, and tasers and old sea spray. Okay. But so after that, it's no more of a psychiatrist. So you don't have, like you have to sometimes. That's why you see a lot of officers have an issue with alcoholism, and a lot of the domestic violence cases happen because of the officers not having an outside source. That's why, to deal with my stress is martial arts, and that's why that's how I deal with my stress, because of the stuff that I see sometimes at work, or I have someone outside source that I always go to speak with all the time.
No, that's good. Chef, do you have any questions you want to ask CJ?
Yes, CJ. I have one question I would like to find out is I've been dying to know, I know cops, they go through things, at the end of the day when they punch out, what is it, how does it feel, when you see the protesters out there and at the end of the day, you like you said, you out there trying to diffuse the situation, and you're trying to, keep everybody. You're trying to keep everybody whole. You're trying to make sure that nothing gets out of control. What is the cop go mindset after the end of the day, or after the end of his shift, after something like that?
Each officer has their own mechanism, right? Yeah. And I had we used to use the word clients, but now we call them residents. I had a resident one time tell me, so I've known me for many, many years, and he says that it's a switch, right? Mm-hmm. So, like I think I probably told you one time, Vero, when we had a conversation one time, it's a switch. I tell people this in the morning. When I get up in the morning, I leave my house. The switch ain't on yet. When I get on the train to go to work and I get close to my job, that's when the switch starts going on, where I have to sit there and meditate to get my mind ready to deal with what I have to deal with in today's work, the 8 hours or the 16. Sometimes the 8 hours right now, officers are working 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, 18-hour shifts because of what's going on. So there's a switch. So there's sometimes a switch that has to go on, and it depends on where you work at. When I worked at, the switch used to go on when I got on the bus getting onto where I worked at. Mm. So it's a switch. So when you get to work, I get to work early in the morning where I have to, the switch goes on. When I put my uniform on, the switch is on. The switch is already on. So my mind is ready thinking, okay, what's going to happen today? God bless me. God bless all the officers. It's sort of like a switch. So when you're going home, the switch goes off. It's supposed to go off because it's almost like a psychological thing, what we call Freud's theories and all these other theories you go into. That's how it is. So it's sort of what that goes on is with officers. I think with everybody, whatever title or whatever job you do, there's a switch. Whether you're a teacher, when you're a teacher, the switch goes on to teaching, and then when you go home, now you're mommy or your daddy or your uncle or you're that. It's in the psychological one of the theories that we learn in psychiatry, and I learned it through Dr. Smith, where it's a switch. It's a switch. So when I see things like what I see, like these protesters, it hurts me because it's a stab in my heart, because it's like, why am I risking my life for? Why am I running to a burning building? Why I'm saving this drug addict from overdosing? Or why is I'm trying to diffuse two clients from fighting each other? Or why am I risking my life, every day to patrol the streets of New York? That's what I like about the NYPD, how they're doing this, is they letting everybody know, listen, this is what's going on, because it's a thankless job. Being a cop is a thankless job because the pay is not very well, and you're dealing with everything that happens. So I always tell people it's like a switch. It's like you have to know when to turn it on and off, and to deal with that, it's you have to be one, basically. It's
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I got one more
Go ahead.
question.
Throw them in, man. One last question. Throw them in, man. I'm open. If you ever tell you, I'm open.
We're gonna part two of you, but we're gonna have a show just. But
I know. But yeah.
The last question I got is, how come that a cop is supposed to follow protocol, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cop is supposed to practice the protocol, but I've noticed the majority of the cops that I've seen, they don't do that. They do it. I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna put it to you like this. They do it when they're ready to do it. I'm not saying all of them do it. I know the ones that I've seen, they do it when they're ready to do it. So I mean, I just want to know. I mean, I'm not saying you, but do you see it yourself? Like, do you realize that there's some that practice proper protocol and some that don't? Do you see it yourself by you being, have been a cop, or
It's a hard question to answer, because every officer has.
I'm sorry about that, man.
I don't mind. Listen, I'm open like this. It's like I'm gonna give you the textbook answer, and I'm gonna go into my answer. We have what's called a patrol guide,
right?
And in the patrol guide, it gives you procedures of what to follow, right.
Okay.
And then the patrol guide is supposed to follow the New York State Penal Code, and then the New York State Penal Code is supposed to follow the United States Constitution, blah 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 blah, right? So you have a patrol guide. In the guidebook, it says to you on how to deal with certain situations. That I'm not too sure what kind of situation you're talking about. I need to get clarity from you on what type of situation you're talking about, because you could have multiple situations where sometimes you have to go outside the patrol guide to get some type of compliance. See, the thing is that you have to there's two words that you have to understand. There's called de-escalation and compliance. There's sometimes that I may have to go outside my character to get you to comply. I can come at you and say, listen, sir, I need you to calm down for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try to help you to the best of my abilities. Right? But then when the person's not listening to what you have to do, then you gotta go to the next level. And where you gotta say, excuse my language, listen, motherfucker, if you do not comply with my fucking rules and regulations, I'm gonna ask you to fucking leave my building or fucking leave this corner.
Yeah.
But what happens is, with the public eye, you only catch a certain amount of that, but not catch the whole situation. So every situation has its ways of trying to de-escalate a situation. And then I'm gonna do what I have to do to gain compliance. But I understand once the handcuffs are on, the fight is over.
Exactly.
I won the fight. Now it's up to you to go to court and fight the case. Now, how I tell people is that you have to be careful what you do and how you do things in life. Like I said, for later, later down the line, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna talk about this, but it's how you grow up and how you come into life. And every situation has its way of dealing with things. So I need like clarity of what you asking, because I could go into a whole situation where
Well, we can. We'll do that. We'll do that the next time that we have more time to do that. But you kind of gave me somewhat of answer. I mean, it wasn't a complete answer, but I get what you're saying, and we'll, like I said, we'll get into more of that at a later time where we can discuss that fully.
Well,
because like I said, he said, like he says, it's not a complete answer, because like I need to know a situation. For me to answer certain questions, I need to know what's going on. Like I know for a fact you see certain things that go on in law enforcement. Like I just need examples. That's how I am, because I see so many scenarios in my head. I can't think of one right now.
Oh man.
I have certain ones that I was gonna say, but I'm gonna save that for another time. I
mean, definitely write that down. Put it in the.
Oh no, I ain't gotta write it. It's right here, baby. It's in my brain. It's right there. It's right there.
Crazy. Yeah. But CJ, my other question to you is now, because a lot of people have been commenting about training. Now, as like I said, as an officer and what you've been doing for a long time, I want your opinion. Do you think the police academy, or what you want to call it, you think they need to retrain these officers that have been doing these injustices for the African?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. So this what goes on with the NYPD, right? With the NYPD, I know for a fact that they do twice a year of what's called recertification.
Yeah.
For New York State peace officers and special officers, right? Because you got the NYPD is the Eagle, and then you got us that's underneath that. With us is 3 times. Sorry, it's once a year, and it's for 3 days of recertification training.
Okay.
Anything that happens where they feel that the New York State Board of Training of Law Enforcement feels that something needs to be changed. Oh, I think I mentioned this earlier. They will change it, and then they will have the officers come out and go to the academy and get retrained on it. You gotta remember, NYPD is 3 months of training. No, sorry, 6 months of training of the New York State Penal Code, which anybody could buy. Right? It's like buying the King James Bible. Anybody could buy the New York State Penal Code book. Right?
Damn.
So then you got what's called the Patrol Guide. And in the Patrol Guide is where you get most of your training as well. And then you go over the New York State Constitution, which that's another law itself. And there's 6 months of that. For New York State peace officers, it's 16 weeks of training.
Damn.
And what we learn is a condensed version of what NYPD learns, but we just learn what we need to do for our titles.
Got it.
See, in New York City, it's different. If you go to like outside of Florida, they got peace officers or they got police. Everybody goes through one training. But in NYPD, it's all different trainings. Auxiliary had their own academy. Department of Homeland Services has their own academy. But it all follows the review board of the New York State Council of Training. I can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up. I have it for next time.
No.
Remind me. So
okay.
Everybody gets registered. Everybody gets registered as a peace officer.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
Okay. No. So.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Well, my confusion.
Yeah. No. It's like it's a hard question. It's not a hard question. It's that people don't understand that you do get the training, but it's like it's a deep thing.
Wow. But I'm saying, do you think because of all this now? My question to you, CJ, because I have a feeling there's gonna be some changes now because what happened just recently to George Floyd. Do you think there is a chance that with this happening, that there is a chance, unfortunately, that they're gonna go. That let's say this works, okay? That they're gonna go and I see, and that they're gonna go and they're gonna fix the protocol, what Chef was mentioning, and where they now that now there's no more chokeholds, there's no way of doing all these things that were supposed to be not be used at the first place. But what you think? Because the thing is, they wear body cams. That's another thing which I don't understand. So if they know they're recorded as an officer, why are they still using these tactics, and why are they going against the law to hurt and injure individuals for no apparent reason? That's what I don't understand.
Okay, the thing with the body camera is, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
It is there to one to view the actions of the officer, right? Yeah. Two is also to help the officer out when he's doing his reports, where to say he was justified to do what he did. Everybody's supposed to have the body camera on, right?
Yeah.
When the situation happened in Staten Island, there was no body cameras at the time.
Right. There was none.
The body cameras. What happened was the unions. They had to fight. They had to go through the unions and stuff like this, and it took a while to get all that. It took a while to get it approved. You got to find contractors and whatever it is to get it approved, and then you got to give officer training for it, right? So that's how it works. That's what happened with the body cam. Now, in the instance that happened in Staten Island, the NYPD been banned chokeholds. It has always been banned. But once again, like I said, to talk about that, I have to show the video to show you step by step where the mistake was at, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you have sorry.
Oh, sorry.
First of all, you had a large male, right, and a small person, body weight and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It was a takedown that he was trying to do that ended up being from a takedown into being a chokehold.
I feel you.
All right. So that's what's going on. So it was going on from that. That's what happened. So you had that what happened, and as I said before, you got people using martial art moves that don't know what to do, that are doing it improperly. It's always been banned in New York City. I said this. Chokeholds has been banned since the Anthony Bias situation. But when you look at the video, and I did it in Dr. Smith's class one time, where I showed the video step by step of what happened, and the class understood what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
So it's a step by step process, and it's like I said before, it's a double-edged sword because we do not do that. Now I saw a training video of, we call Han Shi, which is a grandmaster. He's a former ATF agent. I said to him, that maneuver is illegal in New York State training. We cannot use that in the New York State training because of the situation that happened in Minnesota, right?
That's wrong.
Because it was the both knees. It was some maneuver. It was nowhere near the neck. It was somewhere on the back. Both knees are on the back. One's on the shoulder, and one's. But still, if you look at it, body size mass tends to tell you can't put pressure on a human being. Me being a martial arts, I know that I cannot put my whole body weight on somebody because you got the rib cage, the stomach, the sternum, and all that.
Yeah.
So you got to think logic with officers. You got to give officers, how you say it, you have to give officers, when you train these officers, you have to train them on body mass and how to deal with things. What happened with him was you're supposed to put him in what's called a recovery position. You handcuff him, you put him on the side, you either have him sit up or something like that. You do not do that. You won the fight. You won the fight. The fight is won. He's handcuffed. What is there more to do? Everybody says that in law enforcement. Once the cuffs are on, the battle is over.
That is true. That is true.
You know?
Definitely.
So I'm saying, so it's like it's like it's and like I said to your other DJ, like it's like I can, you give me a scenario, I could break it down to the A to the Z because of all the years of I've had in law enforcement.
I'm a tweak one and give you one. I wasn't gonna do it, but
yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good example of one where it was two officers.
Yeah.
And they had the guy between the cars. Somebody was filming it. Somebody was filming it, and the guy, they were trying to handcuff him, and the guy bit the officer or something, and he shot him. He shot him, and they said, "Yo," they shot him, bro. And he was like,
that was, I know that video.
Go ahead.
I seen that video, and what's crazy is that video happened like 4 years ago.
I remember that.
Right.
It happened like 4 years ago, and it popped up. And I was telling a friend of mine, I don't know the whole extent of that, because when somebody records an officer, we just catch the either the middle of it or towards the end of it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be judgmental because they just saw the beginning of it. Like, for example, I told people, I'm not trying to put this out there, I think it was one of my professors on Monroe that he was teaching us integrity class. It was Professor Pagizzi. I think it was Pagizzi, Corey Pagizzi. He said it. What happens a lot of times, you catch the middle of it, but did not catch what started it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, everybody saw the Rodney King beatings, right?
Yes.
But what transpired to that happening? You know what I'm saying? Not to say nothing wrong. I mean, we know that was correct. We know that was wrong, 100% wrong. For example, for the Minnesota situation, we got from A to Z of what happened to Lloyd. We have the video because of 9/11. After 9/11, everybody started putting cameras on their buildings because they started getting less money for insurance. So you got from A to Z of what happened.
Yeah.
So you have A to Z, and anything is missing. You have everybody that has footage. Everybody that has footage is submitted the footage to the Minnesota Police Department or the prosecution officer. Sorry. So there's A to Z. So that shooting that happened, we don't know what happened. He could have been reaching for the officer's gun. The officer could have panicked. And at that time, I think the officers didn't have tasers. They just got tasers. Yeah, NYPD just got tasers recently. I don't know. I think within like the last 3 years.
Still though, for that officer, he said, "You crazy, bro." You can hear it. He was like, "Yo, you crazy, bro." After he done shot him.
Yeah.
Like after the gun ricocheted, he gonna tell a guy you crazy. But after that, of course, he's not gonna be resisting arrest because he's shot and they already had the handcuffs. Like one of the handcuffs was already on.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
But like you said, we don't know what happened prior, before all that.
Let me tell you something quick. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been through many situations where I'm trying to get somebody handcuffed, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something quick. The worst thing to do is resist. Oh. That's where a lot of things get escalated. Because what happens is that you have people that resist arrest. For whatever reason, you want to resist the arrest. And people do not look at that. And this is what I'm bringing this out to the forefront. You have people that resist arrest before being handcuffed on. Mm-hmm. There's been times where, I'm going to give you my experience, and this happened multiple times in my 19 years of law enforcement, where I have put one handcuff on somebody and could not get the other handcuff on because the other arm wasn't there, or my partner could not get the other arm. Right?
Wow.
That's where the taser will come in, the baton will come in, OC will come in. Now, I'm going to tell you something real quick. I have used OC spray before. I have used my baton before. I have used my taser before. And there's sometimes that you cannot get somebody to gain compliance. The thing with and that's the thing I go back again, is to gain compliance. The thing is for an officer is when he comes to a situation is to try to gain compliance.
Yeah.
And when you have two people, let's say arguing, husband and wife, you want to try to separate the two so you can find out what's going on. But when when you get to a scene of a crime, for example, somebody robs a store, right? They robbed the store. You don't know what happened. Officer in the mindset is saying, I'm going to a robbery. Does he have a gun, a knife? We on the radio saying, is it a knife, is it a gun, whatever. We don't know. So when we get there and we ask the store clerk, we ask certain people what happened, and you're being irate. I know that this is going on, but you being irate. Now the officer is trying to de-escalate two things: de-escalate and gain compliance.
That's right.
So we try to de-escalate the situation. Now, when you're not trying to gain compliance, is when the handcuffs come, and we have a discretion to either cuff you or let you go. We are the gatekeepers. We are the
Yes.
so we have the right to use what's called our discretion.
Definitely.
But when you have
Hi, Vero.
Hey, Ro,
hey, what's up?
Hey.
So when you
Chef, what up?
What's up?
All right.
So that's what's going on. That's what's going on with the situation where you want to gain compliance, and when you have somebody that's a non-compliant person, it's hard to get them cuffed. And there's been times that I try to get somebody cuffed, and it's not working. I'm a 5th degree black belt. I will put it out there, and it's hard to get people to gain compliance. Because once again, in my mind, I can't do certain things because I don't want to hurt the person.
That's true.
So you can't push yourself to the edge. So the one thing that people gotta understand is when you resist. But once you have the handcuffs on and you still resist, it's like it's hard to do certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. CJ, we got a viewer, and his name is Raul. Hey, Raul, what's up?
What's going on?
All right, man. How you doing, man?
I'm at work right now because, with all this looting going on, I have to do my job now.
No, but you out the house. That's the main thing. so definitely we have.
I'm just doing.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Do you have a question for our special guest, CJ?
Yeah, because I've heard the conversation so far, and there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and my question is, how do we change if the people that's affected the most, there's no change within themselves?
That's a good question. Wow,
that's a good one because it's hard to change a person that's accustomed to what they're doing. It goes back to I'm gonna throw a little psychology here for you. One of my favorite theorists was Pavlov. Look up Pavlov's theory. And Pavlov's theory is it tells you how to condition a person, and it talks about the dog. Right? He took a dog and he rang a bell to give the dog food. Right? So when a dog was hungry, he knew that the food was coming because the bell rang. Right?
Oh, it's conditioning.
So when you classically condition to a certain way of life, you're not going to change. So if, for example, if you've been so used to doing certain things a certain way, that's the way you have to been brought up. If you've been brought up to live that lifestyle of the hood life, of the drug mentality, and be incarcerated, that's the way you're going to live. So it goes back to Pavlov's theory where it's classical condition. We're all conditioned to live a good life. It starts in the womb. True. And Vero believe that she was her son was in her stomach. She knew that when to feed him. When he came out, he knew what was going on. So it's hard to change a person's perspective. It has to be also where it goes back to a martial art thing where it says empty your cup.
I like that.
Where your cup always has to be empty. How can I change your perspective or the way of life when your cup is always empty? When your cup is full. Sorry, when your cup is full.
Yep.
You should always have an empty cup when it comes into life. You know, and that's how I see things. I tell everybody like that. I try to tell people that you know, to live that philosophy. I use a lot of spiritual philosophy. My life is both a spiritual philosophy. Oh, whatever it is. I live both a spiritual. I believe in God, but I have a spiritual philosophy. My way of thinking now is different now. I have a spiritual philosophy, and I have also a psychology philosophy, and that's how I live life. I love, you know.
I feel you. All right, that's pretty cool, right? All right, I think that's a lot. Wow, we had talked about a lot, Chef, in over an hour. I'm enjoying myself. Thank you, Raul. You just came out. Thank you, Raul. CJ, we're gonna let you go because we have another guest on the show. She's been patiently waiting. But before we go, let them know your social media, and we will have you on our July episode. And I know you have an amazing story to be told, so we definitely want to have you back on to talk more about that particularly. But let them know where they can find you on your social media.
Listen, anybody can find me on social media on Facebook. My name is CJ the Terror Rivera. They can find me on Facebook. I don't know. I forgot what they got me on Instagram, but mostly you can find me on CJ the Terror on Facebook. Anybody can find me there. If you want to learn any self-defense, anything like that, hit me up. I don't have a school. I don't have a dojo. I use Van Cortlandt Park, so I do that as well. Nice. And Vero, anytime you have if you need anything when it comes to law enforcement or you need an expert, whatever, you know where to find me. And that's why I came on here to lend you my expertise on this. Not too many people will go outside the box and speak about what goes on in law enforcement. And Chef, like I said, if you have anything, you can find me on Facebook, and you want to ask me a question, maybe want to talk privately, I'm here, brother. Like Dr. Smith told me. Dr. Smith told me like this anytime. Dr. Smith told me this, and he's been my mentor since I was 7 years old. I have to give back to those that helped me, and that's all I have to do here. That's why I came on the show in July. I'm telling you, July's gonna be fire. We're gonna talk about the gentrification. We're gonna talk about the 80s that happened through my point of view, that not too many children talk about the 80s, of growing up, born in the 80s, but raised in the 90s. It's going to be fire. I'm telling you, it's going to be some fire in this, some fuego. Some real fuego going on, man.
That's what's up, baby. That's what's up. But again, CJ, thank you. It was an honor having you on the show. I know he's been a long time wanting to be on the show. We finally got him, and I just want to thank you for your input. And it was very educational. I learned a lot tonight about what you would experience and whatnot. And
very educational. Very.
Definitely.
Wait till July. You're gonna be sitting there like make sure you have a notebook and a pen and paper. Like Dr. Smith said, never be late for class. Never be late for his class.
Definitely, man. But I just wish you the best and stay safe. And big send my love to Kate. And Katie or Kate for it. Always give us a name, okay. But and family, and thank you again. And we'll have you soon in July. Like I said again, and thank you for everybody who's been commenting. We have another hour. We're until the 8 o'clock or so we're gonna have another few minutes. But thank you so much again, CJ. Thank you. Just kick them out. All right, Chef. Let's do a quick music break, and we got our next guest on the show soon. All right.
DJ Jeff. What do you mean, little nigga? I just did the green, little nigga. From the month of May all the way to December. What the fuck is losing to a winner? What the fuck is winning to a loser? Shine like they saw no tuner. Next quick blue on my Pumas. What do you mean, little nigga? I said dig it green, little nigga. From the month of May all the way to December. What the fuck is losing to a winner? What the fuck is winning to a loser? Shine like they saw no tuner. Next quick blue on my Pumas. Beat up like Jack Judah with my feet up. I'm a here we go. higher paying. That boy doodle doesn't take two individuals. Conclude the shit, no subliminals. I see it's when a few of you spit. This was a tool to take quick. Competition, climb on the dick spit. Trying to get what's stick down in my dick. He's down in the clip. What do you mean, little nigga? I just did get green, little nigga. From the month of May, all the way into December. What the fuck is losing to a winner? What the fuck is winning to a loser? Shine like the star, no junior. Next secret, blue on my boomers. Fuck you mean, little nigga? I just did get green, little nigga. From the month of May, all the way to December. What the fuck is losing to a winner? What the fuck is winning to a loser? Shine like the star, no junior. Next secret, blue on my boomers. Hustle like I'm Nipsey. I ain't drunk this tipsy. Niggas acting iffy. We stuck at the top like Tiffany. Seen it all before epiphany. Made money in Paris and pennies. No way for a handful of pennies. One season for pennies, so continues. Remember when I had to sex in my skinnies? Remember when I ride for a show in the city? Niggas didn't do that. These days fucking with me. As the middle God continues. Another thing on my fucking knees. Giving a great spirit so I feel rap how they envy. Feel like a bitch.
DJ Jeff. Here we go. You're listening to BRICTV Radio. Number one, better like from the start. Rise above and alone with this music in my heart. With this music in my heart. With this music in my heart. Red, white, and blue, brightest colors stay true. They stand for freedom for so many reasons. Never fading, never changing. No matter how many wars have been through. Soldiers fight day and night. Salute the fall who gave their life so we can live free and have a race. I'll never back down, stand at my ground, won't lay down and give up the fight. And we'll get you, you pave the way. The quality and fairness in the world today. He had a dream and didn't delay. So future children can laugh and play and live and learn to rise above all the hate. Please it with love. We shine through the dark, better light from the start. Rise above, feel the love with this music in my heart. With this music in my heart. With this music in my heart. Every person has a place. Time don't stop when we tell it to wait. One life to live, dreams to chase. Many people, only one race. People that lie instead of being kind. Prepared classes are so hard to find. Choose not to look and get open our eyes. Citizen red from the spatial divide. We took the force, we'll say hello. We'll away from the wall, we'll see what you want. We to the grind, and we're taking us out. Always time to hear us, we're gonna shine through the dark, feel like from the start. Rise above, feel the love with this music in my heart. With this music in my heart. With this music in my
Nycra. Where I'm from, they die, straight from my projects. We tryna survive it, I ain't tryna die yet. It's been like a year now, why nobody riot? Fuck the Twitter shots, with the shots, he still ain't got yet. I'm a man looking now, he thought we was riding. Always rapping about my boy, I'm hurting, I can't hide it. Where the fuck the sirens, why the city silent? We gon' start a riot, fuck on list of silence. Blood on me, can't talk, gotta be quiet. But my own me, be the blood is not lying. They run deep, but still ain't never crying. Got no kick, it's a nigga wanna try it. Stay in my lane, I don't wanna have to move it from it, move it through the rain. Feel like I'm on search for some little game. Do whatever I ever learned, so feel like that. Cause I think I got another one. I can't run a mile, don't wanna see nobody. Always wanna fuck, but I can never cover daddy. Niggas still in clothes, they don't even wanna kiss me, thinking I'm Mr. Miyagi. No days, no, but let a pussy nigga try me. I'm running through the pussy every night, another body. All the body push me, cause I never be multiplying. The same, cause you riding, the same, cause you dying. Blood on me, can't talk, gotta be quiet. On my own knee, be the blood is not fighting. Pain run deep, but we still ain't never crying. God know me, case a nigga wanna try it. Hook cooking niggas, got a couple brothers crying. If they say you did it, he did it, niggas lying. Had a little daughter and she wanna be right by you. Get on my dad with her, I'm a bum, still a fire. Tryna do it right, believe me, man, I'm trying. But I'm full of trouble like a motherfucking lion. Gotta be the ass, cause the bottom getting tiring. Coming over work, so much work I could retire. Love me, can't talk, gotta be quiet. For my own need, be the blood just gotta fight. Pay run deep, but we still ain't never crying. God know me, in case a nigga wanna try it. On my brow, wanna see my mother smiling. Happen every time, niggas say I like the mine. Never think I'm through whatever, they don't wanna see me shining. Kill a nigga dead, and I'm falling from the time.
DJ Jeff.
What's up?
Hello.
Thank you for being patient. I don't see my voice here. What's going on here, brother? And my engineer's trying to hook this up right now. Listen, thank you so much for being patient. I know this was crazy.
You're fine.
No problem. And we got a lot. We got an hour and change. So no, we got this on lock right now. If you, we have an amazing. I love the background, by the way. Loving it, feeling it. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Wusa. I need that right now.
Yes.
Yes.
All day.
Not a problem. Definitely. I'm honored here. She is an amazing. Now you finally see me. Okay. So we have an amazing guest here, guys, on the Artist Spotlight segment. I am so honored. She's been on our show before on the TV show, the Vero Spotlight TV show. And she's on June's cover chef for the Vero Spotlight magazine. Yes,
indeed.
Yay!
Yes, I am honored. I just got my copy. I'm getting it by next week. So I ordered it. I'm getting it. So trust me. I'll put it up there. You know me.
Yes.
Definitely. But again, I'm honored for you to be on our show, and we have a lot to talk about. We've been doing a lot since last time we spoke in person, and I'm just honored. I want to give guys a little quick background before we get with you, Shana. So I want to just before we get into it, I want to commend her because she is a very strong spirit, and she is a survivor. Now, I have to say that because they always say they portray us a certain way. We're not. You are a survivor of domestic violence. Let's give it up for that. Let's give it up. Yes. Your story, it's amazing. I know we had you before, and I would like for you to talk a little more about it in a few minutes. Like I said, she's done a lot. She's been doing a lot of great stuff. She has actually, I did some research. I know she, here we go. And we know we had to talk about that too. Yeah, so like I said, I know you've been doing a lot. I know you're working on your second publication, which we'll be talking about that in a minute. And I know you also have a podcast, which also is seen on Facebook and on YouTube. It's called The Rundown. I'm make sure I get it right. The Rundown TV. And we're gonna talk more all about that stuff that you're doing. And like I said, and she also has and her amazing book, which is called The Mask Behind the Mask, which it talks about more about her ordeal. And I would love to get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, baby. Are you ready? I think it's kind of quiet. Okay, we're good with that. All right, so let's get straight into it. So, like I said again, she's an amazing author and poet. Let them know a little bit about who you are as, like I mentioned, author and poet, and a little bit, if you want to, up to your discretion, a bit about your story and how you overcame it and all that.
Okay. Well, I'm Shana Gourdine. I am from Cross, South Carolina, originally birthed, but I do live in Troy, New York, upstate. I've been here for 17 years. I did a lot of things. I've worked a lot of places, and then I came into becoming an author after all these years because I wanted to be an author since I was 12. Wow. So my book came about from after me going through domestic violence. I went through it twice. After a while, you have to get the mindset of not letting that be the reason why you don't succeed or do anything else in life. I've actually, I was dragged, I was beat up, I was locked in a room, I was stalked, I was a lot of things. And to whereas I had to literally change my life, to whereas I literally changed my car, changed my phone number, changed where I lived, because the person was constantly following me, constantly still trying to get where I am, trying to abuse me. So I had to literally just like kind of disconnect from who I was before to then turn into the person that I am now. Because like at one point I was dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression. I was dealing with all those different things because I was scared. Like I was fearing for my life. I had anxiety. Every time I seen the person of what they had on, I would actually react. So I went through therapy to get into a better position of a mindset to understand that it happened to me and I'm in a safe place now. And I created my book of poems to allow people to understand that they can love all the imperfections despite of what they're dealing with, regardless of what they may be going through. I also deal with 3 different health conditions. I have fibromyalgia, ankylosing spondylitis, which is arthritis in the spine that goes to the rest of the joints like rheumatoid arthritis, and I also have a kidney disease. So I take a stand and with the chronic illness and the domestic violence and the mental health that you can always do anything you want to do if you just adjust your life and your mindset to be better than what you were before.
That is so, yes. I got to pause.
Facts.
Yes, yes. Now I gotta ask that question. I think I asked it last time, but I'll ask again. How do you manage to what you're going through? Like you mentioned, the health situation and everything that you mentioned. How are you able to cope with everything that's going on? And being a mom, so it's a lot. Yeah.
It definitely is a lot. I had to learn how to just deal with the situation and not complain about it. Because if I constantly complain about the pain, that's all I'm gonna be sitting there complaining about. I'm hurting. I can't do this. I can't do that. That couldn't be the mindset I had for 2 kids that looked up to me. You know, my 2 daughters, they're at the age of 8 and 9, and I had to be a role model for them. And my answer was not to be sitting down and taking it lightly that the fact is I got health conditions or that I went through domestic violence or anything else that I was dealing with as a single mom. I had to make the choice to be a better person, a better role model, leaving a legacy for them to understand that your mother went through something, but that was not where she stood and that's not where she stayed. As she became strong, she became victorious, and I took my story and take it to heal other people to put them in a better position than the mindset of where they would be at the beginning to where they are now if they take the step to be a better version.
That's amazing. Oh man, I commend you, man. I know last time we spoke in person on the show, I had to give you a hug, and like I said, I'm also a survivor too as well. So I'm showing you this is where you are, man. Just remember, every day you wake up. That's right, man. You are a survivor. Remember, and then like I said, you're doing it for yourself and for your children and your family. So like you said, you're doing a lot, and you just get. It's like that as they say, it's like that fuel. You need that just to keep on and fight.
Definitely.
And definitely. And talking about that, like I said, let's talk about the book I know you mentioned before. It's called The Mask Behind the Mask, but I know it's kind of like a little bit behind what you mentioned before, what you've gone through. But let them know about that book and more into detail on that.
Okay, it's a book of poetry and spoken words that I put together for people to love all the imperfections despite of what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I created the poems while I was going through my domestic violence.
Yes.
And I took the step of taking it to heal others as they can read the book to get empowered, motivated, and inspired. And what I did from that book, I also created my own brand because I started branding myself. And I call it the Sheena Master Motivation, which through that creation, I do motivational speaking, mentorships. I do seminars, workshops,
Yeah.
and I also do life coaching as well, helping people through their tragedies after domestic violence. And I'm a big advocate for domestic violence. I go back into the community and I go to the shelters and I talk to the ladies, and I created the thing called the survival circle, to where I go to them and I talk to them and help them, guide them to become in a better position than what they are, and understand that I went through it and I still struggle with things that they are going through. I still have the nightmares. I still have the stress. I still have the anxiety at times, but we have to learn to choose the steps that we were given to be in a better spot.
That's right. Actually, it's funny. I want to ask you a question. I think I did a while back. But what advice, as you went through it, and I went through it as well, but what advice would you tell anybody who's watching now that they know somebody or they're going through it on the low as they call it? What advice can you give them? Because I meant you said you do workshops, you do seminars, you help embrace women in what you're doing, and I want you to let them know what advice can you give them to get out safely.
My advice is definitely, if you know somebody or if you're even going through it, take the steps of calling the hotline, calling the places that helped you. Because I went through this place called Unity House, which is out here in Troy, New York. And they helped me take the steps to remove myself from the position that I was in, as far as getting a different place. They help shelter you. They help put you in safe places to where you don't have to be scared anymore. You can go through the process of doing the things that you need to do to be getting into a better position than to sit there and stay silent and continue to get abused.
That's wow, amazing. But you're saying you're at the moment you are still getting how to say therapy. You are still, you said you're still going.
Yeah, I still go. I still talk to my therapist faithfully. I have to. I still have my moments. I still deal with things. I still have incidents that happen. I still have to go through different things. But I also still pray too. I use my spiritual guides as well.
Yes, that's a must. And just stay positive and everything. And how do you? Let me ask you something. From then to now, as your children see you as an amazing role model and that you overcame your obstacles, like what have they told you in their eyes? Like, I was like, hey mom, you know what? Tell them. I want people to hear this, man.
Well, they done told me I'm a celebrity. They're like, oh mommy, I'm so proud of you. You know, they also like they go to my workshops and my seminars with me. So they said they understand why I do what I do. They don't want them to be in the same position I've been in, or I want them to understand what I've been through, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to teach them. The signs of what it can be of a person that's trying to control you or trying to keep you away from your family, or the signs of a person that's gonna abuse you. You just didn't know the yelling and screaming was gonna be what happened. Just pay attention to the signs that come from the beginning when it honestly was there before, and we just ignored it because we was so in love, or that person's going to change and we just feel that we're going to change that person when honestly we're just putting ourselves deeper in this situation. Or when we first get out and then we end up going back, and a lot of people go back because either finances, or they're still in love, or they just don't know how to let go, or they listen to the I love yous and think that that's what supposed to look like.
Amen. Now I got a question because I remember last time I spoke to a person about this. I said, the way I pick up things, and I feel like I foresee you, like I know you are a motivational speaker, and I foresee you in a big stage, like with thousands of people. So down the line, do you see something down on? I just saw that a while back. I just kind of remind you that. But is there a chance that something that is in the works? Let's say that.
Listen, I pray to God it could happen, and all I can do is wish and wait and continue to do my work that I do now, and continue to put myself out there, continue to do the interviews, continue to do my own platform, and from there, whatever God vision is, I'm with it. And if it means taking me in front stage and being the voice for the ones that can't speak, I'm fine with it.
Okay, no, I'm just saying there's something in the works. So I just see something and just throw it in there, but just
that's good. Look, keep on pouring all those good things out. Yes.
Listen, just keep working. I gotta tell my team, keep working, keep putting that grind, not working.
Definitely. It ain't gonna come to you on a silver platter.
Man, what? You're definitely right. Now let's talk about your new book. Let's get into it more about that itself. Yes, let us know about your new book.
Now the new book is definitely still portraying the poetry and the spoken words, but it's a little bit more in depth. It definitely, I'm giving a little bit more insight on myself as the author. I'm also giving more details on because on the first book, I told you that you had a mask on. In the second book, I'm helping you to go through the process after you take the mask off. Because a lot of times, we're not going to ever really get rid of the mask. It's just being true to yourself under that. Amen. And knowing who you are.
Definitely. Oh, man, that's so
true.
I
just go into further details of just a lot of things, the insecurities, the baggage, how to love somebody right, how to empower a person, how to deal with somebody that was broken that you still need to deal with after they're broken and you're trying to love them. All these different things, and how to rebirth yourself and put yourself back on the throne after you've been taken off, because you got knocked off right quick. But as a queen or a king, because men do go through it too. Yes. You got to be able to rebuild yourself from where you've been, and don't stay down there. Just rebuild yourself back up to be back on your throne, to continue the growth and the lessons and the learn from the things that you've been.
Definitely. Amen. We got a lot of people commenting. We got Neroma, I hope I got her name right, Johnson. She says, amen, go Shana. Shana's amazing. Yes, big ups. Oh, I'm just loving the positivity. I'm loving it. Yes, this is what I'm talking about, baby. Yes. Okay, so I know the first book, which is called The Mask Behind the Mask, that's on Amazon.com, www.amazon.com. The second one, is it soon releasing, or it's?
I'm still working on it.
Okay. Okay, I
Um,
want to
it's still in work in progress right now. I'm actually like typing here and there, like in the midst, but it's getting worked on, and until I feel it's good, I'll be ready to put it out. But my goal is at the end of this year. That's
awesome.
my goal
Awesome. That's amazing. Okay, that sounds like a plan. Sounds
because
like,
the fans are waiting. So,
they're like,
you
come on,
know,
come on. Exactly.
yeah, because my other year already made my other book already made a year. So it's time to give them a little bit more.
Oh
So,
no, but that's
I'm
good.
working on it to make sure it's the same day.
That's amazing. Yes, definitely. She says, "Thank you. You're welcome." Actually, talking about now, you're doing a lot. Since last time we spoke, you are amazing. Like, girl, I need some of that energy too. Now, you like I
Well,
said, you're in a you're yes. Oh, stop it. Now you're our co-host for a podcast called The Rundown TV. Now, tell us more about that.
Now with the rundown, we call it the real with the rundown because the thing
Oh,
about it is we use that platform to also give people of different walks of life, anybody that wants to perform, if they had a book, if they was a whatever your job may do, whatever you may want to put out there, we use that as a platform to get people to be able to use their talent and tell the world about it. We also use that platform to just talk the real, whatever conversation we decide or discuss at that moment of what we decide we're going to do. We usually do it on Facebook every Friday. Well, since the COVID-19 been out, we haven't been on, but we normally be on Facebook
okay.
doing it at our friend's office on Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Okay, okay. And you said that's every Fridays,
Yes, every Fridays at 7.
at 7 p.m. Okay, cool. So it's all right. That's what's up. So everybody listen. All right. So if you want to get more further information, you can contact. We'll get her social media. We got more time. We got time. Well, got time. Definitely. Okay. So is there any other projects you're working on besides? I know you're working on a new book and with the podcast. Is there anything else we don't know that you're working on? Or
I mean, I'm always working and creating. Also, because normally in October I usually do it's called I usually do a domestic violence awareness event, but I'm trying to create it and put it together on a Zoom, being now that a lot of things are virtual. So my goal is to do a domestic violence event in October. I haven't came up with a date yet. I do have 2 people that want to tell their story because I give it a safe place for people to be able to express themselves after going through a tragedy and being able to, lay down those burdens that they might have held for 30, 20 years and never talked about. So I give people the opportunity to release the things that they've been holding on to and to be able to learn to love again, to be able to be the person that they were before or be the new person that they are now that they've
right.
created. I also am about to do it's called a grounding retreat. I've gotten a request from this lady that she does Reiki, and they want to do a grounding retreat. So I'm doing a grounding retreat in July on Zoom, and I'm actually doing my unmasking event workshop that I call Looking in the Mirror. So I'm going to do that on there for them as well. And I just dropped my webpage, which is
Yes.
www.theladybehindthemask.com,
Let them
which
know.
I'll send you that link so you can send that link out. And also, with that, I'm planning on creating different seminars and workshops on there that people can honestly get on their own without me being. And if you did want me to do a one-on-one, you would just have to pay a little more.
Okay.
But, I'm down with, putting out the things that I understand as I took my walk and taking off my mask into understanding who I am. So, I'm always here to help. I'm always here to mentor, the different steps on how to writing a book. So I'm just taking the time and adding myself onto the virtual world now with my website.
That's awesome.
I'm also trying to create it's like more of a team program as well. I'm trying to learn to copyright that and create a team program. I was going to do it at the Boys and Girls Club, but right now that's on hold. So I'm probably trying to create that on my website as well for teens to understand the different steps on unmasking themselves, not feeling like they have to be a part of society and do what society is doing and be on their own accord.
Exactly. You're so right about that. And I know me and you actually we're in the talks of doing something like a film or something based on domestic.
Yes.
So I didn't forget about
Yes.
you.
We also had that conversation as well.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things intertwined, but we're definitely gonna get it done this year because I know you said October is definitely domestic violence awareness month. So we could probably do something around that time. We'll talk to J Empire Media. He could work that out. We could try to put things together. Well, both ends. So
Yes. Yes. So, and then I also am doing live talk Thursdays on my Facebook and my YouTube, which is also connected to my website. And basically is like come unmask yourself with the lady behind the mask. And what it is I answer one question per week about any situation, even if it's personal to me. And we have, I pretty much just have a discussion with the people about different things in their life. It can be depression, it can be anything that might be, you could just be mad today about anything. But that's the point of just being able to unmask yourself and letting go of things. Because a lot of times we hold on to the baggage, we hold on to the pain. And that's what makes us not be able to go to the next level of who we are and the growth that we stand for.
So true. Oh my God, man, don't get me started. You're so right about that.
And then I'm also a part of this group called Her Temple Monologue, which is HTM. And we do a lot of community service. So like with that, we do plays, we do monologues and different things. And there's like about 25 or more women and men in there. And we just do a lot with the community and we talk about domestic violence and all the things. So big ups to my HTM family as well. And actually the lady that you were saying, her name is Sweet Chocolate. She's one of my HTM sisters that was tuning in with me as well.
Oh, okay. I was like, the name. I was like, I got this. No, that's what's up. But Chef, let's give it up. I gotta give it up to her. She's working, even though you're not letting the corona get to you with the situation. I do want to get your opinion on this now with the situation with George Floyd, the murder of his situation. What is your input about the riots, the looting, the cop, everything? I want your input on that.
My thoughts on it?
Yeah.
I don't really get too much deep in it now. Honestly, I don't condone the looting.
Absolutely.
Everything else of the protests and all that, I'm for. I just don't condone the looting. That's just my opinion.
No, definitely. And we just had another guest. He was an officer, and we had to get his point of view. And it's just, just talking to you guys right now, I just feel like this has to put a stop. With the police brutality, it's going on for too many years, and that's why now, in a sense, I can't relate to what they're kind of going through, but in a sense, it's like it's a struggle because down the line we have children. We're fighting for their generation. We're fighting for them not to ever go through that situation. So it's a struggle, and we just gotta put two things that you mentioned the right way and come across and let people know. Listen, that's it. No more. You shouldn't be abused or attacked by the cops or anything of that nature. But I just want your opinion on that.
And I'm like I said, I'm all for standing for all everything else, the protesting, standing for what is right. All of everything has to go, the laws and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm not for the looting. And other than that, I'm for everything else. Let's go.
So true. Oh my God.
Thanks.
Chef, I'm like, ask you all these questions. Chef, do you have a question? Come on.
I do have one question.
Okay.
Besides you being the lady of the how you say it, what is it again?
The lady behind the mask.
The lady behind the mask. I've noticed that certain things that you do, as far as your book is concerned, your fashion statement is nice. I like the way you present yourself.
Yes.
The way when you're doing certain seminars or wherever you be. I noticed that your brand and everything that you do, your movement, your book, everything. The way you present yourself and the way that you dress, it speaks about you. It's about you. So I commend you on that, and wanted to say that to you.
Thank you. I can definitely give a lot of props to my mother. Her name is Vero Gourdine. She's in Cross, South Carolina, and she raised me, you know. And I can definitely give a lot of comments to how she raised me and how I was taught how to dress and the way you carry yourself. And the thing about it is the way because the thing is the way you're perceived. It also depends on how much of a person's gonna act to do work with you. You have to present yourself in order to be something someone needs, not something somebody wants. You got to be able to sell yourself with your perception and everything that comes with you, because you represent your brand. So every time I put on a clothes, a hat, a shirt, or shoes, and I'm seen in public, I'm representing my brand, which is called
That's what I was saying.
So
I
have to create that.
You represent your brand very good.
I have to. Because the thing about it is, if I don't, then it'll be traded to something else. So I have to be uphold and be very organized and mind you, I do all this on my own. I don't have no manager. I don't have no public relationer. I do everything, my booking, my phone calls, my dressing, everything myself. Yes.
Wow.
Independent. I
So
like
if anybody want to sign me up for something, you want to call and hire me, I'm willing and ready.
Let me know. Hell yeah.
Nice.
We'll let you know. We got some. If somebody hits up, we'll get some right to you, baby. We got you. Let them know where your social media is. And I have another question besides it, but go ahead. Let them know your social media.
Okay. Well, if we do on Facebook, you got my regular name, which is Shana. It's Shana Gourdine, which is SHANA GOURDINE. You also have Shana Gourdine author. You also have Shana Unmasking Motivation on Facebook as well. Awesome. On Instagram, testimony_for_life. And also, you have my website, which is www.theladybehindthemask.com. I am on all platforms. Oh yeah, on Twitter, I'm W_Gourdine16 as well.
That's amazing. My another question for you, Shana, is now I think I see something, but I want to make sure. Now, do you have any merchandise along with your brand? I think I see something, but if you
my shirt.
Yeah, I
have my shirt that
Okay. So let them know. Go ahead.
I have a couple of shirts. I also have one shirt that has my logo on it that always says, "In order to be your true self, you have to unmask yourself." But along with my co-host that I do on the Vero, I have a Lady Behind the Mask poetry t-shirts as well that I do with blessings.wellness.com as well. And what it is I create, and I took from my poetry and created shirts through that line as well. So we work together. Her name is Jessica, and I take the order. So if you're ready, you want to pre-order, you can always hit me up. You can always send you different pictures of what the shirts look like. What's up? What's your question?
I want to know with the shirts, do you have them in big sizes? Because we all ain't the same size.
Oh, here we go.
I can make it work in bigger sizes if we need to, because we all know that we are luscious people, because I ain't that small either.
More to love. Yes. Chef, you have Oh Lord, let me stop now.
But also, I mean, to list all the things I do, I also sell paparazzi jewelry. I am a jewelry consultant as well. So that's my other business that I do as well. So with that, I do G&G jewelry, and that's also on Facebook, and you also can contact me, and it's a website for that as well. So I'll send all that for her to put up for y'all.
Oh man, listen, cool. I'll push it out. That's all I can do. Send it my way. If you want to hook us stuff for $5 necklace or something, just let me know.
Listen, hey, we'll talk, because everything is only $5. I got you. We'll have a conversation. You know.
Yes, but my last question before we go, Shana, you're amazing. Let anyone know what other advice out there, anybody who wants to start out as a author or entrepreneur, what advice can you tell them out there who's just starting out?
I can definitely say, as a writer, I was lost at first. And it takes some researching and even just asking a couple of questions. But also remember that all your information is not going to be for free either, because people will think that, oh, well, she's an author, she can give me all the details. I worked hard to get where I am, so also you got to learn to do some of the research, or you're going to have to pay me a little bit for what I know. And then as well, to be an entrepreneur, you got to be ready for this. Because
Yeah.
it's definitely not an easy task, and you got to be ready to, you know, even when you feel like you want to throw in the towel, you got to continue to be able to fight for your goals and for your success and for
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Facts.
Because
Facts.
we may make it look easy, but
Shoot.
it comes
It's
with a
not.
lot of things behind
It's
it.
not.
It comes with a lot of tails. You're going to get some no's, but you know, eventually you might get some yeses, but you got to not get discouraged because you heard a no or because somebody told you couldn't do it. You got to just be ready
Right.
to fight for what you know you want to do
Right.
and continue to work. You can't sit down. You got to continue to work. You got to continue to want to brand yourself. You got to continue to want to be more and be able to learn stuff, because you don't know
Right.
everything. Because you'll get some
Facts.
people like, oh, I know this, I know this. You got to be able to be ready to listen and learn different skills in order to better your business when you're moving to your next steps as well. You got to be able to want to grow, because growth comes with everything.
So true. I'll have to add that as well. Let me tell you, I know from sleepless nights, dedication times, like you mentioned, people, haters, that's another one. Haters that will knock you down. People, like you said,
Yeah.
But the haters you get energy from the haters. You know,
That's
I always say
Yeah.
that. The more that people hate you,
yeah.
you take that and you build. It's energy. That
No,
gives you the energy and the fuel to keep going.
that is
And
so
also, they got to remember, the people that you think gonna support you are not the ones that are really gonna support you. And don't get mad when they don't, because at the end, that's the ones that gives you the fight to know that you can continue to grow, because it's something you do
Right.
that they don't understand, or that they're mad because they want to be there. So the ones that you think are going to support you are not always going to be your number one fans. And don't let that stop
Yes.
you. Continue to do what you're
Yes.
doing, because at the end of the day, the haters going to hate. And you know, sometimes we just not for everybody either.
Oh man, hey man, I feel like I went to
And
church.
it's okay. Be
Yes.
okay to know that you're not for everybody. It's okay.
Hell yeah, listen, man. Hey, I feel like I'm on another world tonight. Oh, here we go. Here's Jason in the background with this. Here we go. Yes, I know. That's right, baby. Put the fist up, guys. Yes. Let's let you know, man. We have a voice, and we. Oh, wait, you gonna come our face now? How dare you? Like, hello, I'm over here, you know. But listen, like I said, I am so honored to have you again on the show, and you're an amazing spirit. Just keep fighting, Shana. Keep doing it. You're welcome, and keep doing what you're doing. And I every time we talk or whatever, it's good times, good vibes, and
yes,
you know that
means we got a good rapport.
Yes, you already know, girl. I saw the background. I was like, ooh, woosa.
Look, that's what gives me my strength. I go to bed, that's what's right above. Yes,
Nice.
listen, that gives me that power.
It's so true, man. So true. And like I said, listen, we're fighting besides what we're doing, Shana. Well, you know, what we're doing with our business or work, what we're doing. We're motivating other people to alongside continue on with their dreams and keep pushing and keep working and do everything they have to do. And then nobody tell you any different. And like I said, going alongside with the Black Lives Matter, like you said, we have to fight. You know, like you said, we can't do it by like you said, how you say, writing or what you want to call it. And we just gotta show people do it the right way. Protest. You know, Martin Luther King was a prime example. He went and he fought, and all the shit he went through. He went to jail. You know, people were threatening his lives and his kids' lives and his family. I saw the story, and it's like this man fought until the day, you know, for sure what happened to him. But he fought and he made a cross, and through the civil rights movement time, you know, things had changed, even though not till now. But it's changed, and we need to know and let our amazing generations of children, family, friends, everyone know that we have to fight the same way he had to fight. He has a legacy, his children, people down the line. We have to let people know we have to fight. We have to fight. And by doing it the right way, that's how things gonna get done. You know, and just end the bullshit. That's all. I'm so a little passionate about it, guys. It's just I've been watching news for a good minute about this, and I had to finally speak my mind about this. And like I said, we all have to just fight all together and unite. That's the main thing, you know.
Definitely.
Oh man, I feel like I released my tension now. Chef, any words? He's like, damn.
I just want change because
Yes.
I have a 20-year-old. My son is 20. So as he sees what's going on, you know, the things has changed. COVID-19, the George Floyd, the situation. You know, he's watching all of this. Our young youth is watching all of this.
That's
And
true.
they need to understand that, like, you know, this is history. You know, it's violence, it's a movement, it's history, and we as adults that make sure that we role model our children. We have to act accordingly when this happens, and we have to teach them. We have to teach them.
Gotta have some type of guidance.
Exactly.
So true, man. Oh man, I would love to continue. Oh, man, listen, I'll be like, forget dinner. Let's keep talking. I'm like, let's go 3 hours on this shit. Let's go. Come on.
Look, my kids that came in the room like, Mommy, you cooking?
You're like, another 5 minutes, you know? let me stop. But let's see the comments real quickly, guys. A lot of people have been really talking. It's been really crazy tonight on the show. We got Gemini Stacks, big time listener and favorite fan of ours. What's up? Bossy V, everybody's watching. He said, leave the haters in the dust.
Amen.
Yes, definitely. Narima, I hope I said it. I'll say Johnson. I fuck on names. Yes, makes you want to keep moving. She was talking about what you're mentioning. Yes. And then she said, Black Lives Matter. That's right. Raul, he said
wait a minute. It should be all lives. It's all lives matter, not just blacks.
But listen. End of the day,
you know what we need.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Raul said the battle starts within. Gemini states, I hate the fact that people are going out there destroying things. Yes, we cannot stop rephrasing this, because the fact that's another thing I'm a little upset is, like, I understand you're trying to come across with the situation at hand.
But she made a good point about the looting. The looting is uncalled for.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's just
you can make a statement, but the looting. I understand you sending a message, but the looting is uncalled for. Like the looting.
Because the thing is, how can you go to your local bodega or go to Rite Aid when everything is closed down or broken, and you have to go to another borough or go somewhere else just to get the local milk? I mean, you know, it's destroying your own community. Do it the right way. That's how you come across doing things, and we can't emphasize that enough. You know. But yeah, back to Gemini. He says, I love the show with Shana. Oh, we got a new fan girl.
Tell him I said, thank you.
All right.
Tell him join all the pages. Get the book.
Shit, he's a fan. He's going to be a fan. I'm telling you.
Make sure you get that magazine with me on the front cover.
Yes. That June issue. Yes.
Yeah, that June issue, front cover.
Yes. And beautiful. And I love it. And very... very eccentric and very for the month of June. Start of June, right? Definitely. What are you doing? What is this guy doing? See, I'm talking and he's doing 1,000 things in his head. Chef, let them know your social media where they can find you.
Okay, my social media is djchef.qnz on IG, or you can follow me at Darius Harris on Facebook. Either way, you're gonna see my logo. You're gonna see my face. You're gonna know it's me.
Yes, no doubt. And also let them know you'll be having soon a cookie show and the
yes, on the Vero G Amazon TV. I will be having a DJ Chef mixed power hour. It will be Wednesdays. It'll be from Wednesday from 2 to 3, and it'll be on Fridays from 4 to 5. And the cooking show will be every Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, so Shauna's like, I'm gonna get some recipes out of this.
Yes, I like to cook and I like to eat. I'm a Southern girl, so you already know.
Oh shit! Oh my! I just make recipes. That's it.
And my mixtape.
I'm gonna give you a cooking class.
Okay, all right. I got you. Go ahead, Chef. Go ahead.
My mixtape drops in July. It drops the second week of July. It is called Blazing Season Blends for the Summer. It's dropping in July, on the second week of July.
Awesome. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, just quickly, a quick cheap plug, as they call it. Wait, hold on. Yes, the Rise of Vero G album is officially out. So if
Yay!
That's a great album. That's a great album.
Thank you. Oh, he will put it in it. Thank you. This guy's doing everything. So if you guys, I'm still trying to get a digital distribution. It's a process. You know how that's a headache. But if not, I do have hard copies. If anybody is interested in watching or listening, hit me up on the inbox, all that. You can find me on Diva and Diamonds on Instagram or Facebook, Vero G artist page, or just regular page. If you're happy, just hit me up there. And I think I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's like we talk so much. I'm like, my God. Yes. Oh, yes. Also, guys, you can watch the Vero G Spotlight TV show weekly on New York City Cable TV, on Brooklyn Free Speech TV, MNN, Brooklyn, wow, I just said that. BRONXNET Networks, scratch that, and on YouTube, and on Amazon TV 24/7, guys. So we're worldwide, as they call it, right? Why not?
All over the place. All over.
Right now.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna give you damn, I shouldn't say it. But on June 24th, we have 2 guests. But one of the guests, he's a very well-known actor in Hollywood, and we'll be having him on the show.
Wow.
So you gotta watch. I'm not gonna say who it is, but you gotta watch.
Give them a hint.
All right, he's in Oz and Dexter. That was Dexter. Like one of
Dexter.
Yeah, I don't fucking name this yet.
And he's been in a lot of movies.
So just stay. Y'all don't want to miss that show. It's on June 24th, my peoples. We also have another lineup of guests next week. I forgot. It's like so many people hit me up, but I got you guys. I'll put the post and everything. All right, guys. I think that's our cue to get the fuck out of here because we all gotta eat and all that. All right, let me just see real quick the comments before we go. Raul says the next time this topic comes up, I would like to be on the panel. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Sounds good. Wow. Gemini says I will get the book for my birthday. Oh, yes, his birthday's
nice.
This Sunday. Happy birthday, Gemini.
When is his birthday?
This Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, tell him he need to contact me so he can get a signed copy.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Okay, toma. Well, Will, you already got
it. Listen, I'm just saying, instead of him getting it from Amazon, he get a signed copy.
Oh, shit. Okay, Will, you heard that? You heard that, Will? He's somewhere around there. He's going to comment. Trust me. He's watching the show. He's like, wait, what? And he also cooks, too. He has a cooking show. It's called Gemini Snacks, right?
It's like happy birthday.
Okay, hold on. Let me write down happy birthday. Hold on. I think it's Gemini Snacks. Yep. On his YouTube channel. I forgot the name of it, I believe. Yeah. Happy birthday, Gemini, right? Yeah. Oh, right. I just put Gemini. It's too much right now. I'm like 1,000 things here. My God. Okay, there we go. Did I write it? I don't even see it.
Yeah, you wrote it. I see it.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
See it. Happy birthday. I see it.
We gotta get him a big booty hole. I told him that already. Yo, Chef is like, kill me, please. Oh man, but it's like this all the time, guys, on the show. It's just having. I want you guys to be comfortable, enjoy, and this is your platform. And I just want to thank you again, Shana. Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you, CJ, as well. And you guys make what our show is about. This is your platform for you guys to embrace and be a part of. So thank you again, and bless.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Not a problem. Oh, I think we see a comment before we see. Every time you're about to leave, somebody wants to comment on the chat thing. You know, it's like they don't want to let you go. All right, he said Gemini Stacks on Instagram. There you go. That's where you guys can find him. He's trying to promote himself too. Jesus. All right, hold on. Oh, he says,
yeah.
Definitely, man. But guys, have a great night. Please be safe out there.
Good night.
Yeah.
Be safe, Shana. Be safe.
Yes.
I will. I ain't going outside.
Stay in. Be safe. With
hey, we got that Look, we got that 8 o'clock curfew, and it started already.
Oh shit! So everybody's probably tuning in now.
Time for the purge.
So, no, not the purge. Don't start your shit.
No.
Oh my God, he's too much. But guys, have a great night. It's your time to shine, as they said. The logo of the show.
Right.
And of course, like I said, let's keep on with this fight, what we're doing, and many blessings to everyone, and more to come, Chef. close the show out, and then we out of here.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Spotlight Radio Show with your girl, Vero G, on DTF Radio, live Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m.
The loudmouth in the motherfucking building. BK, stand up. The champ is here. Holla, hear me.
It's your time to shine. Download the app on Google Play and Apple App Store. Vero G Spotlight Radio Show presented by WhosNextNYCRadio.com.
Sounded so big, I know that you scared. And trust it's okay, I know you've been there. I know what they did, cause you fighting hard. A body like you on that back on the ball. Still want your dream, still want your soul.